back. This is Elliot Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us here on CCW TV, the Comic Culture Warrior video channel. Okay, so we were a little split on Shadowland, the book that we reviewed in the last segment.
Or a lot split.
A lot split, yeah. Jose not terribly pleased with Andy Diggle. I found it entertaining. Maybe not Diggle's greatest work, but
displeased more with the art than Andy Diggle.
Oh, I
was let down by Andy Diggle. I was displeased by the art.
Displeased by the art. Let's jump into another book from Marvel, and I know some of you were asking us to talk about this. So
you guys always ask us to talk about this, and I figured it's new #1. I read it, and I told Elliot to read it so we can talk about it, so we can give you X-Fan.
We're taking one for the team here.
Shout out.
Taking one for the team. X-Men #1. With artwork by Paco Medina and a new writer, Victor Gischler. Not a very established name in comics. Pretty much a novelist like John Mayberry is. You know, we're a fan. We are of John Mayberry. This a new #1 for the X-Men.
I like how Marvel was hyping first new #1 X-Men in 20 years. And I say, no shit, there should only be one X-Men #1. You shouldn't have to reboot your crap over and over again to have new #1s.
What about X-Men Forever? Isn't that a new X-Men?
A new X-Men #1.
Like, like in just X-Men?
Yeah, just X-Men.
God, please.
And that's what I was just saying. There should only been one X-Men #1. Yeah. Like, there just should have been one Uncanny X-Men #1.
Yeah, that's... Okay, now they're playing loose with the whole thing. I will say this, as a new #1, you would expect this is something that they're doing to bring on new readers. Usually that's what you're doing with the #1. #1s is kind of a new beginning, a jumping on point for folks.
But if we learn anything from previous #1 issues in the last couple of months, mainly New Avengers and Avengers, not very new reader friendly.
No, not new reader friendly. And this, by far, is not new reader friendly. To the point where I was saying to myself, I don't know why they're bothering with the #1, because it picks up in the middle of all this stuff that's going on. And I was looking at, again, I'm looking at...
But the thing I don't understand is, the thing that drives me crazy is that X-Men Legacy is still going on. That was the old X-Men book.
Yeah.
And this... So that the original X-Men book is still going, but it's now called X-Men Legacy. But now they just released it. So remember we had this whole problem when Red Hulk was going on, and then it changed into Incredible Hulk #600. And then Incredible Hulk came back,
and then because there was an Incredible Hercules for a while.
And Incredible Hercules was going on same time as Incredible Hulk, and then Red Hulk came back. It's like, oh my god, fucking just cut down the number of titles and just stick with it. The fact that they renamed X-Men Legacy was ridiculous to begin with.
Right.
Didn't need to be done. But then, so now you have two X-Men series that were named X-Men going on at the same time.
And do we really need yet another X-Men series is the thing? I mean, how many X-Men books?
I think there's only like 15 X-Men books, so,
What's the point? What's the point is my... I mean,
and you have 2 Astonishing X-Men books going on right now, too.
Yeah, that's right. We have the Astonishing X-Men, then you have the Astonishing X-Men miniseries going on. Oh! It's just ridiculous as to how many X-Men books
there are. And then we're
going
to get a new Wolverine #1, we're going to get a new Dokken #1, we're going to get a new Weapon 13, or what's the girl?
X-23.
X-23. We're going to get an X-23 #1. And I think they're going to relaunch X-Force. I think we're going to get a new X-Force #1.
Again?
I think so.
They just... Ugh.
I could have been wrong about that one, but,
Okay, we're getting off track here as far as the book itself. Because, again... Okay, well, here's the thing.
Oh, should we review the book?
Yeah, we should review the book. This book actually started doing what we said they should have done with the Avengers. Remember? Get some new creative...
Yes.
A new voice on there. So you have this... you have Victor Gischler writing a new X-Men, because X-Men #1's going to sell. So if it's going to sell anyway, bring a new voice into the Marvel universe.
So for that, we applaud.
We applaud them for that. That was actually, And on top of that, you have Paco Medina, who is a pretty good artist.
Yeah, he worked on Deadpool for a few years at least.
Yeah.
And then they moved him off Deadpool to come out to here.
So you read this and you're like, okay, so they put together, at first blush, you look at the book and the book is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
But then you actually sit down and you read the book, and good God, did this book go a long way to tell me
Nothing?
Nothing, almost. I mean, I could have summarized in one page everything that happened in this book. But a whole lot, it kept going and going and going and going and going and hopping around here and there and here and there. And I kept waiting for some action, you know, for something to really happen. In the beginning, you have this guy blow himself up in the middle of a square, okay? And it's a whole, oh my God, what's going on with that? And then we're off the X-Men again, back to the X-Men. If you haven't been reading X-Men, you don't know who a lot of these folks are. You don't recognize Jubilee out of costume.
Well, Jubilee's not really on the X-Men.
Because she has no powers
she has
anymore.
no powers.
What I've gotten from that. This new Pixie character. Okay.
Yeah, if you're not reading Uncanny, you probably don't know who she is.
Yeah, you probably don't know who she is. Half the
But
time...
you know who Cyclops, you know who Storm, you know who Wolverine is, you know who Angel is.
Angel's got his wings back.
He's had him back for a while.
Yeah, see, but again, it shows you how long I haven't read X-Men. I really can't stand reading the X-Men books. I only read Astonishing
And I still don't understand
right
how he can change between him and Archangel.
Archangel, that was the thing.
Because in X-Force he has like the blades of wings.
The blades, right.
So I don't know how he changes. That's something I don't understand.
So, and Wolverine again.
But he's using his tracking skills. So he's
that
actually,
is true, actually.
He actually
you're
did
right.
do
He
something
actually
in
did
this
do
issue.
something. That's true. That's true. But the book really seemed unfocused, and it seemed to go in a lot of different directions, and it didn't need 22 pages to do it. Okay? 22 pages, and then here's the killer. 22 pages. This book was $3.99. 22 pages.
As all new Marvel #1s are.
All new. 22 pages of story and art.
But then you get like
And then we don't
ads.
even, here's the thing, we don't even get wiki padding. We get
ads.
like ads in the back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 pages of ads for the
all
other,
the other
X-Men books and a Shadowland preview for $3.99.
That wasn't everything else though. That Shadowland preview has been in all the other.
I know. So I was like, that was wrong. I mean, you could have at least, if you're gonna do something.
If it's see, we bitch and complain about Wikipedia. Fine, you guys get it. We hate it, but it's a new X-Men #1. You're trying to bring in new readers.
New readers, right?
Who's Pixie? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe have some wiki padding. We're gonna complain about it still, but it will be useful to maybe 5 people.
Right.
This advertising is not useful to
anybody
except for Marvel's for Marvel's pockets.
It's just ridiculous. I gotta say, a great concept, a great idea, and
you compare this. Let's compare this to the other novelist that we talk about, John Merrick. Compare this to Doom War #1.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you talk about a #1 issue with a new writer, that's how you do it. That was a dense read, and they got so much
Very
more.
dense
This nothing compared to that.
And one thing, and this is my one nerd nitpick, when Wolverine fights the vampires eventually, there's a scene here where he cuts off the vampire's head, a female vampire. I'm not gonna. Elliot's mad. Yeah, it was a vampire. I don't care. He had 3 blades, and you only see the head come off with 1 slice. He should have, that's physically impossible.
Yeah, that is
nerd nitpick.
That is very nerd nitpick. Not even I would go there, but
he should have just used the 1 blade.
But to end on a positive note, I like the fact that they only used 5 X-Men.
It felt like a lot more, though.
It did,
there was a lot of stuff going on.
But there was only 5 X-Men, and there was a lot more on the cover that didn't appear here. So we've been complaining about there's too many X-Men in each book. At least they kept it to 5 in this issue.
5.
And that's not counting Jubilee or the 2 doctors that they had in this issue.
To this point, it's showing that the only person right now who was able to launch a new X-Men book and do it successfully was Joss Whedon. I mean, Joss Whedon's run on Astonishing X-Men is a standard by which all other X-Men books should be judged.
I mean, again, this did kind of play into the whole just set 5 characters up, because that was the draw for Astonishing for me.
Yeah.
Not just Whedon, but the fact that it's actually a book that has a solid cast, a small cast, and you don't have to read all the other bullshit that came
Yeah, but with
before.
that though, it's still in continuity, or it tries to be in
Yeah,
continuity.
and but on
with
top of that
X-Men
too,
books.
like there's the prelude that came out last week that does the Dracula,
Right.
so you'd kind of want to
Right.
read that if you to get an understanding of what was going on here. But you didn't need to.
The only X-Men book I'm reading right now is Astonishing, and that's because it's on its own little island, so I'm not worried
Which
about
is
it.
astonishing. Both of them.
Well, I've actually been reading both. I like Warren Ellis. I'll read what he does, and he's actually been doing pretty
So
pretty
you
well.
bought into the whole we're gonna charge these astonishing customers twice.
I gotta say I did.
Fell for it, sucker.
I'm a sucker. Wrap my head in cellophane. I'm a sucker. When we come back, let's talk about a Marvel book that actually we really did enjoy.
We did.
You like it?
Did I say that I did?
Oh, I